What's up there, Fangs and Infernos? We're at PA HorrorCon. We are so happy that Ryan had us back. We love doing everything affiliated with this overall franchise, and we're always really honored to be able to do our vampire and devil things. And we are very, very excited to continue that on right now, as we've been very much looking forward to talking to Michael for a little while. But of course, with the success of Stream that we're going to get into, and all of the other successes in his career right now, we've finally been able to narrow down a little bit of time with him. So again, Michael Leavy, thank you so much, brother, for giving us a little bit of time to hang with you.
I'm honored to finally be doing this. I didn't realize you guys were trying to track me down for this long, but we're here, we're making it happen, and I'm honored to be on.
Oh, no, absolutely, my friend. And honestly, it really has nothing to do outside of the fact that, like we said, off camera when we were saying hi earlier, was that like when with some of the venues that you're with all of your colleagues and castmates, they have like private rooms, and again with the success of the franchise, you get lots of fans, lots of people to meet, and Devil and I know a thing or two about understanding when patience is a virtue. So we're gonna rock out. So again, first and foremost, congratulations are very much in order for the continued success of the Terrifier franchise, but there are now physical copies of this guy right here in Stream. I myself am very excited to finally have a physical copy of my own. So how does it feel, not only with that movie being out now for a while, but also having things that are able to be sold and signed? Because you had also said something very interesting about why you felt very strongly about having physical copies.
Yes, so first of all, it's a relief to finally be out there. It's a very long road. A lot of movies nowadays don't even get physical media, which I don't understand. I'm part of the old school system. I used to love going to Blockbuster and picking out on the cool poster what I'm going to watch, what I'm going to see. And, when you get a movie digitally, which we all do, listen, let's be honest, it happens. It's of ease. And the thing is, though, no one realizes that when you get a movie digitally, you don't really own it, because what happens if that platform goes out of business? What happens if the network goes down? What happens if it just disappears one day? It's gone forever. The only way that you actually physically own something is you can hold it in your hands. It's tangible. Here it is. It's mine. No one can take it. This is it. Also, I think when something is on digital, they can change it. They can update the file, right? Whereas here, this is it. This is how it's meant to be. This is how it was should be preserved. So I'm very strong in the physical media world. And a shame is that a lot of movies don't do that, but we made sure for our fan base, for our products, we needed to have physical. Finally, it's there. It took a long road, but it's a relief that it's finally out, and we're proud to finally have it available for our fan base.
Absolutely. And also when it does come to physical media as well, with movies that not only get a lot of traction or have a very rabid fan base, like, for lack of a better term, the Terrifier universe does have, you would also mention before that, like, you do have to deal with some of the sadness out there when it comes to like bootlegging and things kind of going out and about when it comes to movies being released. Obviously, some of that you're going to be able to monitor it, not all of it maybe you can or can't do. So was there also something to allow the aggression to wanting to get your physical media out there to try to cut into it's like, no, these are not going to be of our quality and standard.
Oh.
Like, this is our
Absolutely.
Our
There were quite a few bootleg stream movies that were out there that were being sold through. I don't want to name drop what the platforms or stores were, but that their fans or somebody whoever made them were trying to take advantage of our fans. They were selling them. They weren't of great quality. They were filmed literally like old school style. A few of them told me off the screen in the theater, which is nuts. And or they were stealing. Yeah, and they were stealing. Low grade, I guess, screen records digitally off of, I don't know where it was, Amazon or whatever wherever they saw it viewed, and then they were putting them on a DVD or Blu-ray and then selling them as our product, and it was kind of robbing the fan base of it, or the movie just wouldn't work, and it reflects poorly on us. So we said, we cannot let this happen. Yeah. Our fans want this. They deserve this. We want to get it out in the highest quality possible. I kept telling the fan base, please just wait. We're doing this the right way. And also, we want to supply special features.
Yes.
They can't bootleg special features.
Nope.
So we made sure that we did it the right way. We got it out the right way. And then even also like the way they were doing like the poster art. They weren't right. The credits were wrong. So, if the fans understood that, I was able to say that unfortunately I'm sure there was some people out there that we don't even know that maybe were duped. But thankfully, for the most part, they understood. They saw once I made the post. We got rid of a lot of that stuff because all they're doing is scamming the people who care, right?
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
not right. So it forced us to get this thing out as quickly as possible. We're very proud that we did it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Devil, I'm gonna kick it up to you and have you take it away. But I got one final question from me in this segment. Is of course I gotta ask, like, how was it working with the legendary Tim Curry, and how did that come about?
I've been a fan of. Here he is.
Don't listen to nothing he says. He's full of crap.
Is that what you say, Phil,
Ladies
or
and
is that what it's really
Mr.
about?
Phil Falcone, producer, executive producer, Damien Leone's partner in Effects World in
Don't-
Terrifier. Tom, the bus driver.
Don't try to butter me up. I'm
Butter
only
up
I'm
real
only
good.
doing this because he keeps jumping in on every podcast I'm on.
So it's a payback situation.
Yes, definitely. I've been
So,
told by at least 5 people to come over here and jump in.
They jumped in real good. I'm going to
Sure
mix him a
did.
drink in about 5 minutes. Don't you worry.
We'll fix him right up.
Phil's
Oh,
the
yeah.
man. And what was the question?
Tim.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
So I idolized Tim growing up. Huge reason I got in the business. So look, there's a few movies, horror films, of why I got into this business, and it's Leprechaun, Stephen King's It, Tim Curry, Halloween 1978, and of course Robert Englund, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. And Tim was a huge inspiration. Love all of his films, so I always want to work with him. I reached out to him to do a film, one of my first films, and sadly that's when the stroke had kind of happened. And I just kept in touch with him, his management, his whole team, and just kept checking in. And finally, when Stream was coming about, I just said, hey, I'd love to work with Tim. How's he doing? Is there any way to make this happen? And it kind of worked out. They said, yeah, he's ready. And it was my honor to bring him back to the big screen, to have him involved in another feature film. And he was so gracious. He was so amazing. I brought him a bottle of wine, and we talked about Home Alone, and we talked about It, and we talked about Annie, and we talked about Clue, and I mean, we talked about everything. Scary Movie. Like, I was just such a fan.
Yeah.
And we had a really great couple of private moments that I won't bring to light here, but it was awesome, man. And it was my honor to do it for the fans. It was a pleasure, and an honor for me to do it. And it was Tim's great pleasure to come back. And I'm so thankful that he chose Stream to do it with. And maybe we'll do it again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I loved the full circle thing too. With of course everybody knows him from Rocky Horror, but then to have him come full circle in that like TV adaptation that they did where
Oh,
he
so
got
cool.
where he got to play the narrator.
Yeah, it was so cool. And he's a fantastic actor. He's got a charm that even through all of his medical and health issues still shines through.
Oh, yeah.
And anybody who saw Stream, or if you're thinking about looking into it, he is just as good as he ever was
Yeah,
in Stream, and he still got it. And I was just proud to bring him back. You know what I mean? And it's a great highlight of my life.
Absolutely, for sure.
Well,
Devil?
Well, even piggybacking on that, I mean, not only do you got Tim Curry, you got Jeffrey Combs in there, you got Dee Wallace, you got Daniel Harris, you have the late great Tony Todd in that. Talk about like having some of those huge horror icons in this movie.
Well, first and foremost, obviously with Tony, it's a great loss. He became a wonderful friend. He was so supportive of Stream and its eventual franchise. It's obviously not a secret that we were hoping to have him involved in the sequel.
Yeah.
And he was really excited to be a part of the sequel. And we're gonna do some kind of tribute, some way, some form, somehow. We have some great things in store that Tony wanted to do that we're gonna honor. And I just want to say a great human being, and honored to call him a friend. I got to work with him on another movie called Pitchfork Retreat that is coming out soon, and it's not out yet, so you get to see another wonderful, fantastic performance by Tony Todd.
Nice.
And I could just say to the fans, anybody who's hoping to see him as a Lockwood, this is as close as you're going to get, because he really is a great character and really delivers. But to bring in Jeffrey Combs, who's become a wonderful friend and supporter, and Dee Wallace, and Mark Holton,
Yeah,
and
that's
Dave
it.
Sheridan, and Danielle Harris, and Felissa Rose. I mean, there's so many people that were part of Stream. Danny Roebuck. It wasn't originally supposed to be that way. Tim Reed. We were just looking for people who fit the roles. We were looking for people who were great actors, and obviously people that I idolized growing up and wanted to work with. And then eventually it started coming together because of the script, because of who we wanted to work with, because they resonated with the idea. It kind of became this ensemble cast of greats that originally wasn't the plan. and it kind of just all happened. So that's what Stream is, and I'm really honored as a fan and excited as a fan that kind of happened. But again, we didn't set out to do that originally, and it all fell into place, and it fell into place in a really great way.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, even just watching it, some of the cameos and some of the people that were in that, not realizing.
Bill
that
Moseley.
It was just so awesome. Like you said, especially like you said, being like Leprechaun being one of your films, Mark being in this and stuff like that. It's just so cool to see like a passion project where you get something like that and get some of your, idols and people that you grew up, idolizing or liking in the business, and be able to come into a film like this and work with it on that too. So it's so awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, man.
I thought it was an awesome movie. I thought it was
We'll have more
fun.
stuff eventually down the road for you guys.
It's all great.
Your old stuff, like Mama's Boys.
Mama's Boys plug. Thank you guys.
But it was just a cool, when you were thinking of the concept of this, with this kind of like this, people haven't seen it yet, but you have the players and they're kind of making kills, and it's kind of like, Running Man sort of a little bit here and there with that, extra stuff. What was the concept when you were writing it, when you were thinking about making the story of this upstream?
We wanted to do something where you could modernize the slasher genre, and obviously bring it into the new age. And I'm a sucker for old school, obviously, just from some of the films that I've named. We wanted to keep that heart. We wanted to make a modernized slasher, number one. We wanted to bring it into the 21st century. At the time we were writing it, there was a lot of cryptocurrency going on. There was a lot of Bitcoin stuff going on. And we just said, okay, how do we fuse this techie element, but this old school 80s style, and kind of fuse it? And that's what happened with Stream. And I'm really proud of the tone of the film, and I'm really proud of it. And now we're going to do a sequel.
Oh, yeah, awesome. And it's cool, too, because, people here at Vampire and Podcast, one of our sponsors that we work around with is we work with Brutalities, and they've done some stuff with you guys with the stream sodas and stuff like that. Talk about, kind of merging that, that thing into other worlds and other revenues and stuff like that with other businesses.
It's been great. The fan base have been very supportive, and we're trying to just do as many cool things as we can, whether that's stream masks or, teas or T-shirts or coffees or sodas or, whatever it is. We're just trying to open up as much as we can and supply as much as we can for this, because as a horror fan myself, I eat everything up from movies that I love. So if people really love what we're doing, it's a really cool thing for us to be able to supply that. And, we hope to do it with everything. Obviously, we're doing it with Terrifier. Terrifier is going to be in the Horror Nights at Universal.
Yep.
That's an honor. I talk about this quickly. I did a Leprechaun fan film, really is what it is, Leprechaun Revenge. We brought Mark Holton back. We got Lyndon Porco from the newest versions. We're hoping that Lionsgate's listening. We'd love to be a part of. I'd love to direct a new Leprechaun movie. And we did what our tone would be. And hopefully if they call, we're ready to go. I got a lot of pitches. So.
And this Leprechaun movie is different than the one that Mark did recently, right?
It is very different tonally. I think it goes back to the original vibe of what Mark Jones did. It's obviously still has his humor, because that's important. It needs that. But in the balance of creepiness, horror, comedy, I think we brought it back to its roots, and that's what we can supply along with our practical effect style of the Terrifier version and Stream. I think we can do a lot of cool things that will pay homage to the original, make fans of the original happy, but also bring in a new, modern, wider horror audience, and I think that we got a really cool concept. We have a few of them that people really dig, so hopefully they'll give us a call, at least pitch it to them. But Lionsgate, if you're listening, we're ready to go when you are.
If coffee happens, definitely let me know, man, because that's all I do.
I love it. Awesome.
So I'm
Great.
definitely down for that.
Great.
But also, let's have a little bit of a fun conversation real quick, too, and talk a little bit about this guy.
Screamboat.
The captain's dead. We're locked in. Yeah, so I produced Screamboat, and I was in Screamboat. It's a fun little thing. I did it with a friend of mine who I graduated high school with, and he did a movie called The Mean One. We obviously had the Terrifier franchise, and we said, we should find a way to work together, but on something fun. And he got what is hot right now. Obviously, these public domain things are going. I'm not a huge fan of public domain films, but when I realized this is going to be a comedy, this is kind of going to be a satire upon itself, very self-aware, I said, oh, this could be fun. It could be done right if it's done that way. It's the only way that it could be done. And we went and we shot it on the Staten Island ferry. It's very Staten Island centric, so it just made sense to finally come together and collaborate on something that could be really unique and exciting and a fun project.
I always found that kind of interesting a little bit with the Mean One too, because honestly, I was more always kind of under the impression that Grinch was considered like a public domain, like universal term. To find out that that's not the case.
No. And that's all I'll say on that.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
No, absolutely. And right back up to you, Devil, and we'll let Michael hang with his fans a little bit more.
Other than trying to pitch the Leprechaun to Lionsgate, what other projects do you have that are coming out
Yeah,
that you can't talk about?
Use that. I can't. Use Leavy for Leprechaun. Watch it. Leprechaun Revenge on YouTube. It's for free. It's our tone pitch to whoever holds the rights, Lionsgate and others, that we want to do it. So share it, spread it, look at it. Hashtag Leavy for Leprechaun, Leavy. We'd love to do it. We have a great idea. It'll be a lot of fun. Obviously, we have Stream. Check it out if you haven't. Stream 2's in the works. Terrifier 4 is in the works. And we got some other things. We're trying to do some comedy stuff as well. So just follow Fuzz in the Lens, Michael Leavy. We're here to have a good time and to entertain above and beyond anything else.
Absolutely, Michael. And one final question on Stream, because I've always found it interesting when it comes to what becomes popular in like pop culture. What was your inspiration behind having a plague doctor-esque character? Because that's definitely a character that I'm starting to notice over the last couple of years has become very popular, whether it be plushies in mall stores or T-shirts.
It has. You know, it was something that's so old, right? It's so ancient. It's so outdated that we said, let's take this thing that's from the past and again modernize it with the LED eyes. So it was part of that. COVID was also happening at the time, and it was this plague that was there. So it was just in the mind of Plague Boss, Pit Boss, gambling. It was all of that kind of just fused together and taking that old and blending it with the new. Also, there was a film called the Poughkeepsie Tapes that had this long beak thing, and it was very eerie. And I said, I want to do something like that, but not exactly that can be our own. And it just the perfect storm that kind of brought it all together, you know. And again, if you look at our Stream mask, it's the opposite. Like what works, right? Michael Myers white mask. Okay, we went dark. It's rubber. This is carbon fiber, right? It was our eyes light up. They're not black. Obviously, this one doesn't, but in the movie, they light up. That's LED. Michael Myers, Jason, has no mask or just clothes. This has the teeth, right? So it was all of the opposite of what has been done before and flipping it on its head. It was very carefully thought of.
Yeah, and it kind of like, you know, with those kind of masks too, it's like, you know, that kind of the airsoft mask that people wear,
right?
Things like that.
Exactly. So there was a lot of thought that went into gaming. They're very game-related. So it was a lot of those things that kind of came into place. Came into play of how we decided to formulate the Stream masks.
Absolutely. And we started off talking about physical media, and we see your Leprechaun VHS there, physical media.
I'm a fan. I bought this here from a vendor, a Leprechaun VHS, and I got my buddy Mark Holton to sign it. This is mine, personal collection, so it's real. I'm a fan. I'm lucky enough to be doing this as a fan, to be making these horror movies, and I'm lucky enough that people care.
And we're lucky to be able to sit and talk with you, Michael. Thank you
so
so much. Absolutely.
I appreciate you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Infernos. We love you guys. We'll be back around with some more great conversations. We really appreciate you guys supporting our show because it allows you to support everything that guys like Michael are doing. So we'll see you guys soon enough. I'm Vampire. He's Devil, but more importantly, he is Michael Leavy. We'll see you soon. Horns up. Fangs out.